Hey, what's up, girl? Today we're diving into the third topic from Middle Ground. Should the LGB be separated from the TQIA+? Now, I'm not going to spill the beans on my opinion just yet, but before we dive in, let me drop a little hint. The very way the question is posed,
the LGB should be separated from the TQIA+.
is somewhat I find rather unfortunate.
What?
Stay tuned, because as we go on, I'll provide a detailed explanation of what I mean by that. So we've got two conservative and two liberal gays who in a way agreed to the statement. First up on the dock is Amir, a YouTuber who's well known for his conservative views. Oh, hi, by the way, I'm Samantha and welcome back to my channel.
Saying they should be separated is not saying that one is, less important.
Yeah, I agree.
So I do want to start with that. But I do think that the LGB is very specific, rooted in science. It's very clear as day. You have lesbian, gay, and bi. Main difference between male and female, we all know what that is. The LGB is very specific, rooted in science.
Let's see if I can find some sciencey stuff to make my video sound super smart. See? This article's got the word science in it, must be the real deal. It'll make everything I say in this video totally legit.
So guys, as you've probably noticed, there's a fair share of YouTubers who seem to have a special love affair with the word science. It's like a magic wand that can make anything sound instantly credible.
This is based on studies. I will link the study below.
The LGB is very specific, rooted in science.
In all seriousness, what kind of science is that? What exactly is the science that made these three letters LGB root in itself? I bet Amir means biology or anatomy. Exactly, anatomy is the science that studies the physical differences between us, human beings. We all understand that. However, the science behind assigning certain meanings to the letters and words is not anatomy. It's semantics, the branch of linguistics and logic concerned with meaning. It's about how we communicate, how we define and understand things, and ultimately how we create a more inclusive and accepting world.
He's conservative and hearing inclusive and accepting triggers his eye roll reflex.
Oh, okay, let's just explore why this next gay guy, liberal by the way, supports the idea of separating LGB from TQIA+.
Science is very solid on identities other than gender assigned at birth being valid. Science is very clear, robust, there is no question that it's legit.
So again, science, yeah? Oh, by the way, Samantha's a scientist too.
We, as cisgender people, do a really bad job of standing up for people who aren't cisgender. I call out the fact that cisgender queer people are treated differently than non-cisgender queer people, and until we do better, we don't deserve to have the letters be together.
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge and appreciate him for raising a point about solidarity within the LGBTQIA+ community. It's crucial that we support and uplift each other, and I think I agree with this sentiment. But hey, what's the news? We live in a human nature often leans towards opposing viewpoints, and even if we were to entertain the idea of separating LGB from TQIA+, what would we achieve? Let's imagine for a moment that we go down that path. Wouldn't we end up with another minority group facing its own challenges? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble here, but it's crucial to recognize that in the grand scheme of things, we're all unique individuals on our own journeys in life, I guess. Which is also why I don't really like this whole rhetoric about lived differences in experiences. Like, whose experiences isn't unique? Show me this person.
I think that there are such lived differences in experiences that we experience.
Now, I'd wager even Kai's experiences differ from those of other liberal gay guys here, despite all of them being cis, if I'm not mistaken.
Although collectively, I think that we all know the collective experience of being a sexual deviant. There just is a difference in lived experience that I think is important to talk about and acknowledge, and that's my grounds for agreeing with perhaps a separation.
So this liberal gay guy Kai, he stepped forward with hesitation. And we also can see that he's not 100% sure the separation is the right thing. There's also a teeny tiny contradictory we can spot over here. He says we all know the collective experience of being sexual deviant. And this is pivotal. I think this is what still unites all of the rainbow people and probably distinguishes us from non-rainbow, normal people. I mean, this take concerning all of us being allegedly sexual deviant is something that is our springboard to move in the right and positive direction to achieve even more.
This conversation can become very hostile.
Isn't it hostile already? But probably not between male gay guys and trans persons. Probably exactly between who is gathered on the show today. Liberal and conservative gays. Or in general, liberal and conservative rainbow people. And I bet if there's no conservative people, the issue should we separate LGB from the TQIA+ wouldn't have been raised. I might be mistaken, prove me wrong in the comment section, but imagine a super liberal gay guy saying something like, what? Trans people? Oh, in my opinion, trans people are on their own. They're not gays.
Because it seems like, I'm like, oh, I don't want you to be a part, like, I don't want you to be my friend, I don't want to be with you, be next to you, be seen with you, and that's not the case.
This is oversimplified. Friendships aren't determined by what's known as gender identity. You may not like the fact that trans girls or trans men appear on your phone screen in apps like Grindr, because you're searching for something different, you're masculinity attracted, and this is understandable. But I bet technologies have not evolved yet up to the point where they would only show you someone of your type.
It's impossible.
So what he offers us to imagine, these words, I don't want you to be my friend, be next to you, be seen with you. Like, how pathetic should be this gay male person who is hypothetically saying this? I'm so happy that we're such close friends. Yeah, I'm really grateful for our friendship as well. Oh my god, they're my friends. What if they see me with this trans?
One is an identity, and one is a sexuality. And that's just the simple difference between the two. Eventually, as both groups are fighting for their own personal interests, those are going to not work cohesively. So one is going to be quieter and one is going to get taken advantage of, etc.
I do understand what he's saying regarding identity and sexuality. This one is identity, one is sexuality. But trans and gays and bisexuals and probably intersex and queer people and asexuals, they all have shared experiences of discrimination and prejudice based on their non-conformity to traditions. So non-conformity to traditions is what it's all about. In other words, we have our mutual history, which is also science. Oh wow, my video is really smart. I've already mentioned the word science 3 times. It says that many legal efforts aimed at securing rainbow people's rights encompass issues related to, both your orientation and your identity in terms of whether you feel you're a man, you're a woman, or you're neither.
And it's not that we can't support the TQ+.
Right.
I just think that they're two vastly different things.
The LGB as sexuality and the TQIA+ as identity, they coexist because they're both integral parts of the larger spectrum of the human diversity. It's not about division, it's about recognizing and respecting the full spectrum of human experiences.
I think that you oversimplify identity versus sexuality, though, because there are tons of men who identify as straight who have, on occasion, with regularity, once in their life, sex with men, which is why...
Oh my god, Amir's contributions to the show are nothing short of genius. Did you also notice that he brings a depth of understanding to the topics at hand? And his insights are refreshingly unconventional.
I think once with men, sure, experimenting, but I think if there is a guy that's identifying as straight that sometimes dabbles with men.
He might identify as straight, but he's not.
You're bi.
Well, you know what? I think that the topic Ryan brings up is somewhat irrelevant. Like, Clarkson was talking about the separation of the LGB from the TQIA+, because one is identity and the other sexuality. And then, as we've just seen, Ryan said, I think you oversimplify identity versus sexuality, which is a very needed and fortunate remark. But after that, Ryan started talking about something different. Straight guys sleeping with men once in a lifetime. By the way, I have a video on the topic, and I must say I support straight guys who fall for trans girls. I also support straight or hetero-flexible dudes who once in a lifetime have schmucks with males. I think it's cool that people nowadays are less ashamed of new experiences.
A lot of times it's gay men that are doing it, and trans people are getting blamed for it when it's really gay men in drag.
Right.
And because the letters are together, people don't know the difference.
Hi, I'd like cappuccino grande, please. Anything else with your coffee today? Ah, that's it, thank you. Earl Grey tea for Samantha. Thought I ordered coffee, not tea. Yeah, but they're on the same shelf.
And even when I first started like coming out, the first thing that somebody said to me was, "Are you going to transition into a woman?" And I'm like, "Wait, what? That has nothing to do with my sexuality. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but because they're together from an outsider's point of view, optically, I think if our goal is to educate the populace on who we are, then we need to make a more clear distinction between LGB and TQ+."
So it's as though we're mistaking tea for coffee because they share a shelf in the kitchen. Hey, let's brew some understanding and serve it up. The LGB and the TQIA+ are part of the same kitchen, girl. They just have their own distinct flavors. Oh, by the way, I've got a proposition that's sweeter than your favorite latte and funnier than a coffee stain on a white shirt. You know, Samantha has been serving up content hotter than a freshly brewed espresso, and she needs your help to keep the caffeine flowing. So remember, there's a button right there waiting for your click, and it's more satisfying than the first sip of coffee in the morning. Oh, and the link will lead you to my Buy Me a Coffee page or to my Patreon.
I think as human beings, we like to package things that we can develop a palate for. We like to make things more palatable. We like to establish clear-cut rubrics for what is and what isn't a person. I think that's just the natural human tendency.
That's how our brain categorizes.
But I think that, you know, what separates us from the apes is that we can give credence to these differences and create pockets of space, at least for a discussion, if you don't necessarily agree or whatever.
That is so true, and now I'm about to uncover whether I support the idea of separating the LGB from the TQIA+ or not. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I think that the most unfortunate aspect here is the way we ask this question, the way it's worded. Should the LGB be separated from the TQIA+? I guess what I'm about to say is something many rainbow people would find somewhat problematic, but anyways, I'm gonna say this. You see, in my opinion, it might be time to reconsider how we label our orientations. In my opinion, we probably should stop using words lesbian, gay, and straight, and perhaps even queer to refer to our sexuality. As I said, it might have seemed irrelevant when Brian mentioned straight people who've had same-sex experiences, but actually it's a topic worth discussing. When it comes down to it, there are essentially 3 types of attraction: to femininity, to masculinity, and to both, or neither. So trans people, no matter if they're trans men, if they're trans women, or trans and non-binary, they also have their orientation. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're trans, anyways, they're attracted to someone. They're either femininity attracted, masculinity attracted, both attracted, non-binary attracted. So why not explore terms like androsexual and gynosexual? I know that people who watch all of my videos probably think I am obsessed with this topic, but I do believe that these terms could help us move beyond the problematic debate of whether to separate the LGB from the TQIA+ or not. As a matter of fact, this approach could bridge the gap between the rainbow community and those who identify as straight but don't fit the traditional mold. It would remove the stigma from people who may have had occasional same-sex experiences or who are attracted to trans people. And isn't the word rainbow actually a very, very fortunate term? It symbolizes diversity, much like the multiple colors of a rainbow. And we are a community that embraces diversity in all its forms. So girl, for real, why not call us the rainbow community? Not the gay community, not the trans community, not the queer community. You know that the word queer is probably not the option to be used as the umbrella term, as it has had its problems over the history. Like, for real, why not call us the rainbow community? If you prefer clear-cut labels and find terms like andro and gynosexual too challenging, yes, the word gay is simpler, then why not create new terms? I know it may sound like inventing neopronouns, but language evolves and new terms can reflect our evolving understanding.
Polyflexible. What does this mean? Like, these people invented their own language.
You know, they're so upset with us, saying that we keep on making up pronouns and genders and new words, and I just don't know how else to tell you this, but all words are made up. In fact, the words made up were made up.
Last but not the least, girl, I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe there's something I missed, or maybe I'm completely off track. Please, girl, feel free to share your feedback. And by the way, Samantha's so sick and tired of dumb comments from the far-righters. Will there be any from the liberals? Please share your thoughts. Is that too much to ask for? Like, for real, your input is valuable to me. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget, there's also part 1 of my reaction to the Middle Ground's liberal gays versus conservative gays episode. And I also have another video where I dive into the details of andro and gynosexuality. Check them out. I'll be back with more content soon. Until then, take care and bye!